Good afternoon, RPG Limit Break, and welcome to this Game 3 in a best-of-3 matchup between ScarletShadoww and Thilotilo. This is the quarterfinals of the 2024 DWR Randomizer Summer Tournament. Winner moves on to meet Angel FM in the semis. Loser joins the rest of us on the sidelines. Hi everybody, I'm DK9146. Alongside me in the booth today is Hoodie Two Shoes. How we doing, Hoodie?
You know, I'm doing great. It's a lovely Saturday afternoon. I am ready for some Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, absolutely. So am I. And look at these guys, they got the outside spell, somewhat useful maybe down the road. They are starting with 9 strength, not too terrible. 19 HP, pretty atrocious though.
Yeah, the HP is looking rough, especially if there's any kind of swamp blocking their way, or if the starting enemies have, hurt more or even weak breath at this point is looking pretty deadly. But the 9 AP gives them some options.
Absolutely, and plus the king's going to give them a couple bonus items along with the key. We'll see if either of those bonus items are helpful or if they're just, throwaways. We'll know here in a few moments. We're going to be getting a countdown here in about 15 seconds. These guys got to be amped up. Both races so far in this matchup have been fantastic, and I'm hoping to see a continuation of that here in Game 3.
Yeah, the best thing that could happen for all of us is a very exciting competitive match, so we're definitely going to hope for that here. Have been a lot of key starts lately. I know that Tilo is not the biggest fan of those, so we'll have to see whether or not the game is going to give a bottleneck or kind of wide open the faucet here at the beginning.
Yeah, and something he is a fan of, Deep Diving Grave. Will that be relevant? Will it just add extra time? Will we already know before we even get there? Who the heck knows? But I see a countdown in the race room, so we should see some Worthless King instructions here in a moment and get us some chest action.
And here we are. We have a Destiny of an Emperor sprite versus the classic red slime. So we'll see who's going to come out on top.
Precisely. Well, we got some gold and wings. We're getting some keys here.
You just can't get away from the keys here. So we're starting with keys, and we're going to get a full set with that gold.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll get a quick look around the castle. Looks like we might be at the bottom of the world, saw a swamp or a cave across a river. We'll see if that's accessible here in a bit.
But both racers kind of in lockstep right now, almost exactly on the same. I think Tilo's one tile behind right now, but both mirror images.
Absolutely. Key vendor getting used right away here. And we'll see if we get any divergence here. If they want to go back to the Treasury first, do they want to check downstairs first, or do we get a split?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's an objectively right choice. I tend to be in favor of going to the Treasury, but it looks like both are heading to the basement first.
Yeah, for me, it's always just what I feel like in the moment. But here we go. Downstairs below Tangible, we have Grave. So 3 chests up top, plus potential 2 more. So I think it's a little early for that possible deep dive. And I think these enemies think it's a little early for the top chest as well.
And the enemies, wow, getting away from that Green Dragon is great for Scarlet. But Green Dragon Demon Knight are not the friendliest enemies with 10 agility.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, and that's a big run. Dragon Scale, Cursed Belt, and the Armor are the top 3.
That is incredibly consequential for Scarlet. We've got a torch. Sorry, I'm having some hiccups here. I saw torch, herb, and I missed the second, but we do have gold in the bottom right for a gold grind potential.
Well, then, yeah, I missed the first 2 myself here, but I did see the last 2. So, yeah, Tilo back out. We'll see how long it takes him to decide to try and go back in there. He knows about only the Demon Knight at this current time. Takes a look. He's got a Drakima, not going to be something we can take on yet.
And I'm having some network issues. I'm going to refresh the stream. I'll be right back.
No worries at all. Meanwhile, ScarletShadoww now doing his cursory checks here of the Treasury. It's double gold. Double gold across the bottom with a curse. No, what is that? An herb, and then he's going to get an herb grind on and whatever the top left was.
Yeah, like you said, we've got that cave to the east there from the start. We've got a desert and some hills. Looking like we've got some high encounter rate here in Zone 0.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're getting some nominal enemies here. We're getting some slime action going on. So Tilo 2 experience away from level 2, while we got Scarlet wrapping up some grabbing some items here.
Yep, not sure if those were herbs. I think they were herbs that he was going for the grind there.
Yeah, he got herbs and torches.
And with that 9 strength, those torches are going to put a number of enemies in killable range that with just your fists would not be. Like this Magidrake is a perfect example.
Yeah, and level 2 will do that as well. 15 strength with 1 agility, 2 hit points, and the spell of heal.
Ooh, heal is very nice, and it always feels good when you get it early enough to not have to get thousands of XP.
Absolutely. So there we go. Scarlet getting his level 2, and meanwhile the Scorpion over here, it also has heal, but we should be able to get around that with where we're at right now.
Yeah, getting that strength from level 2 gives you a pretty good option to, get in there. Oh, with the hurt more is a different story.
Yeah, hurt more, a little less happy to see that for sure. So Scorpion, usually an enemy we'd like to see, maybe not so much until we can most likely guarantee a one-shot on him.
Yeah, and if those torches in the Treasury were fairy water, you might feel a little bit more confident about being able to avoid the heal and the hurt more, but with the torch, you're putting yourself in range to get healed or hurt more.
Yeah, and Tilo, almost walking out, decides to go back in. He picks up one of the gold chests, the torch and the herb. He's going to go get the second gold chest as well. He's just going to have some cash on him here. We'll see what he's thinking of trying to do with this.
Yep, maybe just a little bit of herb for healing on top of the heal spell, and then maybe just looking to throw that torch right in an enemy's face.
Yeah, and another enemy here now, Magidrake, also with heal on the back end, and it's twice healed now with ScarletShadoww getting so close to getting it. That 7's huge, he might be able to overcome the 13-point range.
And I didn't realize before, but it seems like a pretty good chance we're at the bottom edge of the map here, so a pretty decent, at least one coordinate reverse setup should either of the runners be interested in doing such things.
Absolutely, yeah, we're 4 off the bottom. As a note there, and 4249, no spells for level 4, has made ScarletShadoww decide to kind of walk around at least a little bit. He knows that there's a full gold grind available, as does Tilo, and some good early game gear outside of that armor would also be helpful.
Yep, and despite not having the armor for Tilo, still doing great on XP and not in a huge deficit right now. As the game progresses, if it takes a long time for Tilo to get the armor, it might widen, but right now doing a great job keeping up.
It sure did, and Scarlet just took a death to a Golem, but I saw a fairly sharp edge there to the west as well, so we might be able to double reverse if necessary, or if either runner is so inclined to check that.
And seems to me like whenever you've got an opportunity to get a double reverse coordinate setup, looking like the fairy flute or go fight is my usual thought.
Yeah, precisely. So this skeleton actually not a bad enemy right now for Scarlet with his extra defense from the armor. He's going to be able to nickel and dime it down for a big 25, and that will get him level. Never mind. Everybody's got some kind of healing. We got heal more in skeletons. That takes them out of commission.
Yeah, all the Dragon Lord's enemies seemed like they got some tutelage at a magic school of some kind.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Meanwhile, as Scarlet had kind of headed north there, that river across, no bridges or land connections so far to get them at least easily over to that new cave that we haven't seen yet.
And this is, I'm sure they've seen it before, but this is my first time realizing that the Magidrake has heal as well, so nothing is going to be free here.
Yep, Magidrake, Scorpion with heal. Tilo actually gets to level 5 first with 10 more power, 5 agility, 2 hit points, no magic, no spells.
At least the power is steadily increasing, which is nice, but 21 agility is not necessarily where you want to be, nor is 30 HP.
Yeah, neither is finding out that Magic Wyverns have DL2 breath, as Scarlet just found out, and so that's another enemy that can be quality that might be off the table as a result.
Yeah, so just kind of a lot of annoying abilities. Some of them are terrifying, but mostly just kind of a lot of annoying stuff going on with the grind. Would love to find a town with some kind of weaponry that you could set up a gold glitch and maybe get some more offense.
Yeah, and I guess maybe thinking about the fact that their agility is low, Tilo especially has made no attempts to do anything but sit here and try and grind. And as you can see, even without that armor, has built up a decent experience point lead for, over double where we're at right now. And killing some wolves, Drakima's over here, and doing a decent job of it.
Yeah, that extra 10 attack power from level 5 is really helping Tilo be able to take down these wolves.
Except they also have heal more because why not? They had the hurt spell we saw already, but heal more on the wolves potentially takes them out of commission.
This seed is definitely delivering in the aggravation factor. Just like minor, like that mildly irritating feeling from all these enemies.
Right, he's one swing away potentially from getting level 6 instead. Now he's back to the drawing board. What enemy wants to let him kill him without getting into that heal range?
And now Scarlet's going to get that extra 10 attack power, and with the access to the armor, might have a better time searching out for some Zone 1 or 2 enemies. Although we know the skeleton is a heal more friend, and there it is.
Exactly. This is very intriguing. Tilo kind of walks north, doesn't see a connection, starts walking south, then decides to start walking north again, just trying to check around his edges. They have potential to get around the heals or the heal mores that we've been seeing on all these enemies. It's just you got to get the right RNG to get the right amount of damage, as we just saw on Tilo's side.
Yep, and 25 XP is great. The wolf is the best, but there's just nothing that's going to let you get. Even the magician has heal. This is something. Everybody's got heal.
Oh yeah, and they're also spicy now, DL2. So heal DL2 on a magician. Tilo did get 13 more agility on that next level, and we find Sharlock and a town just due north.
Yeah, this is very good news, especially if it is a non-Hawksness town. Even Breckenary could be helpful to our racers with that weapon shop.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be interesting. He survives the Wyvern attack, is going to heal up. Let's see if he can get to this town, and he's hoping it's not Hawksness.
Yeah, and additionally, even if there's nothing good in the shop, if this is a town with shops, it could potentially be Cantlin or Breckenary with access to fairy water, or any item shop will give you torches, but we got coal.
Coal's huge. Coal's huge with a potential search spot here in play. We also saw the land bridge connector up top finally. We do have a silver shield and a hand axe available, and Scarlet with enough cash to pick up that hand axe. On this first spot, we have the death necklace.
Oh, so small, quick gold grind available here, even if Tilo doesn't have enough money for both the hand axe and the large shield. Probably going to get enough for both. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would absolutely assume he would go over and pick up a couple more of those death necklaces there to grab us a large shield, and that's exactly where he heads. So we go across here, we see another cave here, a Druin, it's 14, so we got a cave just north, and that's Swamp South.
Yep, and Tilo might be, without having Erdrick's armor, might be going for the slow grind. I think there was a full plate there, but maybe looking to pick up some kind of armor piece as well.
Yeah, good call here. Yeah, since he does not know about the armor downstairs in Tantagel, 3K for the full plate, along with another 800. So 3,800. Not going to take too terribly long, about a minute or so here, averaging just over 100 on each search.
And to respond to chat, Cole had the death necklace, and the death necklace, if it's on a search spot like here in Cole, when you search it again, it will give you a moderate amount of gold, 1 something to 120-ish something.
Yep, it's a situational item for sure, but it's coming into play here as we make it through Swamp to the north, and it does not backdoor into the ham, but it does come out with some connecting bridges and some various land masses, and nothing else in view yet.
Yep, and we see a slime over there, so at least not dead yet, which is great news.
Not dead yet, but there's a ton of swamp just to the west here, going west and south from there. We'll see what he does with the additional defense from that last level up, plus that large shield is able to take down a Wyvern now, and that's a fantastic enemy.
Yeah, that skyrocket with the XP being where it is, that Wyvern is a huge chunk, and Scarlet in a better position here to check out this area, having access to the armor, will not take damage from all, and there's a lot of swamp, and this is the west coast.
Yeah, ton of swamp, and looks like like you said, west coast, but devoid of anything so far. Tilo trying to get in his fights in here with this wolf is getting heal more initially. We'll see if he can get around it.
Ugh. Looks like it maybe not be a 25% on that heal more. It might be more like 50 or 75.
Yeah, it's doing it quite frequently, but does enough damage across the two swings there to get his 40. So experience the lead switched over to Scarlet here, and we're probably going to see Tilo do exactly what Scarlet did: go to start to cross that bridge, see that cave, and turn around.
Yep, and that extra 15 attack power from the hand axe is really paying off for both of the racers. Just put them over the edge in terms of combat.
Yeah, buddy, but a baby breath breathing green dragon sends Tilo back. Be curious to see if Tilo decides to give the grave a shot here, but does not make that turn, and it'll be a little bit longer before he finds out about the armor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Tilo was the one that saw the Demon Knight or the Green... I think it was the Demon Knight for Tilo, but knows that there is an enemy that 34 agility is not very strong with 30 HP to make it through.
Yeah, precisely, and you are right, it was Demon Knight. We're going to get level 7 over here for Scarlet, and he's coming with 2 power, 4 agility, 6 hit points, 1 magic, no spells.
Some moderate gains, but the enemies of the Dragon Lord's minions have kind of bogarted all the spells on this seed. They've really done a lot of hoarding.
Absolutely, and both of these runners have gone into grind. So over here, Scarlet's been finding those wyverns and is wanting more of those. Meanwhile, a knight might be a little tighter of a fight because you're not going to do much damage to him, and he realizes that. But Tilo joins them at level 7 now.
Yeah, knights, you can do some decent damage to them if you get enough attack power, but it takes a long time for your defense to get high enough for them to not do 20-something damage to you.
And you love to see this. Tilo slam-moves himself into the swamp to get his reset. He figured, if Slam-Moo can move on to the semis, maybe I do what Slam-Moo do.
That's a good strategy, emulating tournament champions. Although Tilo is a tournament champion himself, but seems like a good idea if you emulate those who've had success before you.
Absolutely, and it looks like after Scarlet went north up that portion right there, this swamp continent has absolutely nothing on it.
Yeah, so far we've seen a couple of caves, and then we saw coal, but not a whole lot else. I guess we saw Charlock as well.
Precisely. So here we go. Tilo back down here. Of course, he's going to find the green dragon. Does escape. Is making the turn. Let's see if he can make it up here. There were some not so scary enemies in here as well. He gets his free dragon scale.
Yep, and then I think it might have been a torch or an herb or something. Curse belt, never mind, but something inconsequential. And there's the armor.
Yes, it kind of feels bad, but you got to think about it from a not feels bad perspective. What does the armor give my opponent if he did decide to do that? An advantage on, and truly, as we've seen, outside a little bit of walking on the swamp continent that did nothing, it gave him nothing. So Tilo's going to try and dive. Meanwhile, I think Scarlet's most likely back in here mainly to get a silver shield. And yeah, with him going back to the top 3 chest, I guarantee that's what it is. We'll see if he tries to dive or not.
Ooh, Red Dragon is the news for the bottom zone in the grave.
Yeah, we're not dealing with that Red Dragon right now at 38 agility and a total of 36 HP max. So Tilo, let's see if he opts to also do this gold grind. We know for a fact Scarlet is, and it looks like Tilo will be doing it. So we should see double silver shields here momentarily.
Yep, and I wonder if he'll get extra money, maybe just to have a chance to get a broadsword, or just going to go for the silver shield. Potentially could try to get flame sword money, but it would be pretty quick to get enough just to, if you get lucky enough to find a broadsword without too much wasted time.
Yeah, that's fair, but I think this is a smart play, even though we know it's scary downstairs. Scarlet's going to take some time to come to set up the gold grind. You might as well try and go ahead and do this dive. We'll see if he can even make it to the stairs, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we saw a different enemy in the second zone, so only thing I know is that there's a red dragon in the bottom zone here.
Well, that enemy, a little less scary. The ghost shows up.
So we'll see if RNG is going to play favorites here, or maybe give Scarlet some of the same as Tilo got.
Yeah, so far, Ghost, we want nothing to do with. The Spectre will happily swing through and get a nice 47 experience there. He is nearing chest 4. We'll see if he can make it or not, while Tilo's going to do a safety save here. And we do. Chest 4 is the flute.
Oh, super high impact item. Obviously DK's favorite of the quote key unquote items.
Yeah, I have a new favorite in this seed so far that I'll be rooting for, and we'll just let chat figure that out on their own. But here we go. I mean, that hurt more kind of suspect on the Druid Lord. We can tank it a little bit with Erdrick's armor, though, and he is going to take down a Druid Lord as well. So mostly free down here outside that Red Dragon. We'll see if he can make it to chest 5.
Yeah, enemies like Spectre and Druid Lord, even though the Druid Lord is, spicier than mild, it's not quite incredibly picante, but it's a little hot in the taste buds. Could be great things to fight as long as you just avoid those red dragons.
Absolutely, and right there is exactly why Tilo safety save. Got to a green dragon, failed to run twice, is immediately resetting to keep his cash. He took the time to get the cash. He wants to get the payoff.
Yeah, and having access to that extra 10 defense, especially with the agility being low, you never know if it'll get higher, but always feels good.
But, oh my goodness, Scarlet finding out about the red dragon does escape at 38 agility there. I think chat threw out about a 20% chance to run, so, not the worst odds. And then the slime rolls out our top 5 down here. So, is Niran, can he make it? And he will. Chest 5. Does it pay off? It is the harp.
Wow. That is hugely consequential, potentially. Very, very important item.
Wow, yes. With a red dragon down there, that's not even going to be free for a while, or attainable for a while to be able to pull off, and to get it all done in one go is huge, especially with it being the harp, so that you can go ahead and make sure that you are able to turn that in when we do find that cave.
Yeah, it's a huge potential benefit for routing efficiency, and it's going to take more than one stat to increase to be able to fight that dragon. You're going to need heal more, very likely, more HP, and more attack power.
Absolutely. So Tilo gets his silver shield, is now trying to check out the world across the bridge here. Surprisingly, going at a southeast diagonal, knowing there is a cave back to the west, right on the river, is a little surprising to me that he didn't kind of just head south to it. But we'll see what he finds.
But in a zone with the Wyvern here as well. Wyvern seeming like one of the best enemies that our racers have access to in the seed right now.
Agreed. It's one of 3 enemies so far that hasn't shown any abilities, whether it's an offensive or especially a healing on the back end.
And having access to that silver shield is going to help with the low 36 HP to not take so much damage from these mid-range enemies. The high tier enemies, we're still going to be taking quite a clip from.
Yeah, and you can see, just because of our low defense from agility still, at 69 defense, still taking a big wallop of 20 from that knight, which is probably towards high end, but still, that hurt.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying before, that the knights, you can get to a point where you can offensively take them, but defensively, it takes a while to be able to withstand their offense.
Exactly. So here we go. Scarlet's got his cash in hand and is proceeding towards his silver shield, and we'll make it easily. He's going to pick up his defense. Meanwhile, Tilo creeping towards level 8, just a little bit of experience behind Scarlet. But yeah, still weird. Finds a dead end over here that he didn't head towards that cave. Maybe it's just not on his mind.
And it does look like Scarlet got just enough money, like I was saying, that if he finds another town and it happens to have a broadsword, would be able to get that 5 attack power upgrade. But not going to be too upset if you don't find it and you lose the money.
Exactly. It's it's a couple extra seconds in the grand scheme of everything. Meanwhile, Scarlet also going to head out, ignores the bridge completely, but is going to have to take the bridge. The bridge leads to everything, because we've been through swamp that we see on the screen over here. It goes nowhere, so he'll have to go across.
Yeah, one of those kind of craggly, winding path seeds where you might have to go right and then up and then right and then up and then left and then down, and a lot of different ways to get where you're going.
Oh, but look at that surprise. Just across the bridge is a red dragon zone. So red dragon did have baby breath, though.
That's great news, and Scarlet so far with 38 agility has been able to get away from 2 of those, so great luck.
Well, we'll see what level 8 brings here momentarily. Both runners really creeping towards it. Tilo does make it to the cave this time, sees that it's Swamp South. Is going to opt to go walk. I was going to say, he's going to opt to walk through, but then remembered he started with the outside spell. So here we go. He's going to come out here, find the nothing of the swamp continent. Meanwhile, ScarletShadoww is finally going to give us our first look at this cave that we've seen since the beginning, and it's the jerk.
Well, that's pretty nice news. We'll be able to remember that, hopefully, and we'll be seeing that guy again later.
So yeah, we'll see if, for Tilo's benefit, he wants to full clear this and just get the knowledge that there's nothing. Meanwhile, straight east from the jerk is Hawksness. Meanwhile, Tilo doesn't get the full clear, finds another red dragon zone.
Yep, and so right now we know where both of our potential Overworld spike tiles are. We just have not had the opportunity to check either. We're not really in a position that we could feasibly kill anything on there, so but we have the knowledge.
Absolutely. And for this Wraith, we're going to see level 8 here, and then I'll address a comment in chat there. We got 3 more power, 1 agility, 1 hit point, 5 magic, pretty much nothing burger. But for no idea what this game is. This game is Dragon Warrior Randomizer. It's a randomized version of the 1989 US version, at least, of Dragon Warrior. The main idea here is we have a hero. The hero needs to go find 3 key items, which is the Silver Harp, the Stones of Sunlight, and the Erdrick's Token. Convert that Silver Harp into the Staff of Rain, and take all 3 of those things to a gentleman affectionately known as the Jerk, and he will provide us the Rainbow Drop, which will allow us access to Charlotte Castle, which we see on the top of Tilo's screen right now, which is where our final boss, the Dragon Lord, resides.
Yep, in addition to those 2 key items, very likely also to need the Erdrick's Sword and the Erdrick's Armor, but both racers already have the Erdrick's Armor, so that's great news, and very likely to need the Sword, unless the strength goes very high and they can get a Flame Sword.
Exactly, yeah, and right now, strength pretty nominally decent for level 7s and 8s there. We're up to 53 strength. Looks like Tilo's going to make another play towards Swamp Continent. Unfortunate for him, he's ran into a little bit of bad RNG in comparison to Scarlet, where he's not gonna get that initial exploration of Swamp Continent being nothing done on the first try. He didn't get into the armor on the first try. The Knight's not even gonna let him live here.
Yeah, it's just the theme of the seed from the start has kind of just been like that nagging kind of annoyance, where all these enemies had heal and hurt more and all these just kind of minor annoyances, and it's just kind of progressing through the seed where it continues.
Exactly, and Scarlet thought he found a great zone there. Nails that Wolf Lord for 20-something, and the Wolf Lord says, hey, guess what? I have DL2 Breath as well, and blows him up for 44, and he died.
So, despite all of the stuff that's been going on, this race is remarkably close. Both runners have the same equipment. Scarlet does have that advantage of making it all the way down to the 5th chest in the grave and getting the Silver Harp. And I think that is a relevant advantage, but other than that, runners are very close.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see how this plays out. Right now, we have just over 100 experience point, or just under 100 experience point lead for Scarlet. Both of them continually trying to take on the Knights as well, which we know are scary. He's waiting for low rolls, which he just got there. But again, we can't hit them super hard right now with our total of 68 attack power. So, see how this plays out. Tilo's still got many outs right now, but the cards keep aligning for Scarlet so far.
Yeah, and 37 total HP is it's pretty low, and as you can see, this Knight is able to take down Scarlet just based on high attack rolls and low heals.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, that Knight battle, a minute plus of time, just completely lost and nothing to show for it. So you gotta really pick your battle, so to speak, very well here.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like Tilo is going down towards what we know to be the Rainbow Drop trade-in, affectionately referred to as the Jerk, and likely to find Hawk's Nest shortly thereafter.
Yeah, and he was heading south, and then it was like, oh wait, there's a cave here, and it can be very easy. You keep seeing that white noise cave across the river that you can't see early. It can be very easy to just forget about it completely for a few.
Yeah, you kind of think that, you check it off in your list because I've seen that so many times, and then, you can just forget that you've never actually been in there.
Yeah, and chat talking about stable grinds, and that's the name of the game here. Scarlet thought he might have had a potential chance there until that Wolf Lord blew him up with DL2. Meanwhile, Tilo finding Hawk's Nest is going to at least go give it a cursory check, and we have on the spike tile a Golem.
Well, that's not ideal. The flute, Scarlet has access to the flute, so potentially could try, but it's going to be, you're going to take a one-shot death a lot of the time against that Golem, even with the armor and the silver shield.
Yeah, absolutely. It can hit into the 40s right now on our heroes with that combination, that 69 defense. But yeah, flute was in grade 4, Silver Harp in grade 5, so Tilo did not make it to either of those chests while Scarlet got both.
It's a reasonable check, though. Having access to Erdrick's armor, maybe the enemy that's on the spike tile has a high percentage of stop spell and hurt or something like that, and you could potentially take it down. So I think it's totally reasonable to have checked the spike.
Yeah, I don't hate the play either. Absolutely. So Scarlet's found him a zone that he is willing to walk back and forth in here, in that little desert just east of Charlock here, and is going to get rewarded with level 9. Level 9 coming in with 4 more power, 7 agility, 3 hit points, 35 magic, and a spell of return.
Well, we finally got a spell, and it is somewhat useful, but it's not necessarily the spell that's going to help with combat, which I think is if I was in the seed racing, would be my most important consideration right now.
Yeah, either combat or, to be quite honest, move that 35 stat up 1 to the hit points, because that would have been much more relevant for him. Tilo going to find yet another red dragon on the overworld here. I think that is that same zone that we saw it from Scarlet side earlier, just across the river.
And it is great that it has the weak breath, but when you only have 37 HP, even the Erdrick's armor resisted weak breath is going to take a significant chunk of your HP down.
Precisely, and we're not running with any consistency from a red dragon for quite a while here, even with level 9. 46 agility, decent enough for a majority of the game, but those top tier enemies such as that red dragon, just not going to cut it.
Yeah, and the HP remaining low at 40, like you said, is one of the biggest considerations right now in the way that this is going for these racers.
Yeah, and unfortunately here, it seems that the bad luck across the river there is going to send Tilo back into the swamp cave. No, he's walking by. I think maybe he's just trying to find a zone as well here. Scarlet's kind of settled down here and is quickly building a decent experience point lead. So this is working out really well for Scarlet in the zone, and we'll see if Tilo can figure it out on his own here, that there might be a better option.
Yeah, and the only, combat usable spell that we have being heal is kind of a bummer, because even something like Stop Spell or Sleep would greatly benefit these racers and their ability to gain experience.
Yeah, as we just saw there, the Magic Wyvern, Tilo didn't find out about their nasty ability, but finds out it has heal on the back end as well. That's like 7 enemies, I believe, maybe 8. I haven't been keeping track, but there's a ton of them.
Yep, and having access to Stop Spell could, prevent something like that, although it still has the Dragonlord Breath. And all those night battles that we've been seeing, if they had Sleep, could make that a little bit more of an appealing endeavor.
Well, I mean, this grind is truly paying off for Scarlet. Tilo into that same zone. Unfortunately, just going to find the Gold Man, which has evidently Baby Breath, and it is not going to inspire him to stay there. The Wolf he's already got much knowledge of, so that might not inspire him. Having seen the Wyvern is the huge play for Scarlet. That's what kept him into this zone.
Yeah, and this game is very RNG heavy, and things can really switch on RNG, but I think an underrated RNG aspect is just kind of encounter luck and which enemies you see in zones, and then also which abilities of the enemies you see.
Yeah, as we just saw there for Scarlet, he's having to get away from a green dragon periodically. Has been fairly successful at doing so, unfortunately, getting a second one here. Tilo does join him at level 9, finds about that huge MP. And he's going to go ahead and top off that MP with the hopes that he'll actually stay alive long enough to cast out many heals.
Yep, no need to go to the worst item shop in the game here in Cole to buy herbs when you have 71 MP and essentially nothing to do with it but use the heal spell.
Absolutely. So that short grind here, Scarlet, level 10 coming in, 3 more power, 2 agility, 2 hit points, 1 MP. That was a nothing burger.
Yep, that's not what you're hoping for if you're a fan of progression.
Well, what that's going to do is progress Scarlet further back and forth through this desert, which I think is absolutely the right play at this point. The name of the game right now is grind. Get something that you can grind on, and he's found the stuff that he wants. Tilo, not having found that, is pressing still, finding some dead ends though. We'll figure out how to get out to the greater part of this map at some point.
Yep, and I have to imagine that the top priority for Scarlet right now, the thing that he's hoping for in the level up, has got to be HP. Have to imagine agility and strength and heal more, or hurt more as well, are up there, but HP has to be top of the list.
Absolutely. It will make it to where you can take on some of those higher level enemies, especially now that we're going to start seeing some of that benefit from that Silver Shield kicking in. He's up to 74 defense over there. And that would be critical, you start damage breaking stuff and then you can just dink and dunk them down, even like a green dragon.
Yep, if we can get to 88 defense, that would be the point where up to Green Dragon is defense broken, and what that means is essentially you're taking 1 to 14, maybe 17 damage? I can't remember the higher end, but a very low range of damage.
Yeah, I think Green, they top off at 15 if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, and sometimes they just completely miss. It's fantastic when that happens.
It really feels great when, especially when you have the armor and you can just kind of walk around and heal all that HP back. You can essentially just stay and fight things indefinitely.
Mm-hmm. And does the Wyvern have anything? No, that's one of our few free-ish enemies. It's just fight, it appears. At least we have not seen anything from it yet. As we find out the Druid also blessed with the Dragonlord 2 Breath.
Oh, a cheeky little fellow there. And I am going to bow out for a few minutes here. I will be right back.
Alright, so the grind continues here. We're going to see Scarlet at least grab level 11 at 2,175 experience, while Tilo is finding out that you don't need to worry about return when the game has the ability to return you back to the castle on its own. Yeah, so I know right now it's it's a rough situation here. We got Scarlet with a clear advantage here. Not only having completed the dive in the grave, which is absolutely 100% required, but also happening upon what seems to be the best option for a grind here in this early to early mid-game part of this race, where Tilo just has not had the same luck, the same encounter luck, and continually just keeps trying to press out there to find something that'll work. As we saw, I still don't think he's seen a Wyvern in this zone whatsoever. He's seen multiple green dragons, multiple wolves, some skeletons occasionally, but I'm not sure he has seen that Wyvern at all. But he has decided, let's just go ahead and do it. I'd like to see him move into the desert and see if the desert works. Finally finds one and immediately crits it. You'll love to see it. So there we go. Tilo's kind of gotten it figured out. We'll see if he can figure out that he can be in the full desert versus the hills. But it looks like he might be happy with this zone, as both encounter a green dragon there. We have exactly 100 experience left for ScarletShadoww to reach the level. So buckle up. We're going to see a little bit of killing here for a moment. Scarlet is on a run of green dragons here. I think that's 3 or 4 in a row now. Keeps getting away. We're, like I said, at that 48 agility for him, 46 for Tilo, we have a decent enough odds to get away in a couple, and we have the survivability to last a couple. So there we go. This will leave him 1 to 2 enemies away, depending on what his encounters bring for Scarlet. Meanwhile, Tilo, just gonna be about $150 away after this wolf. Yeah, chat was asking. Max level is 30. Believe 49,500 experience, if I'm not mistaken, with our rando. Don't know that we've ever seen anybody at least need to go to level 30. We've seen a few people finish at level 30 just because, but hurt more is the big thing at level 11. We now have the ability to blow up enemies with impunity, and immediately ScarletShadoww blows up that green dragon to show off the new ability. And I missed the numbers. Yes, so geez, that was a really fantastic level looking back at it. 7 strength, 6 agility, 19 HP, which is huge. Another 12 MP, plus the ability to blow up enemies. I would not expect Scarlet to hang out too long, and maybe go try to see if we can blow something up in the swamp cave, perhaps.
It looks like maybe the key for the progression was just for me to leave for a second and come back. So fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. You leave. Scarlet finds level 11 with all the things. The lowest stat was 7 on strength, and 6 on agility. But it was a fantastic level, right? And we're gonna get a swamp spike check now because we have hurt more.
Yep, I'm not sure, did he check the Hawksness spike, but I would imagine that that's probably very close on his list, if not.
No, he has no knowledge that it is the Golem yet, but, no heal more in play. He probably won't try to make it through a Golem fight, though he has the ability with that flute in hand, but, we got a Golem here as well.
Okay, and seems like with that knowledge, it's not as important to get the kill here, in the swamp cave on that spike, unless you're looking for the princess. But when you get to Hawksness, it might be a different consideration. We'll have to see if he's willing to flute his way through or wait till later.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, 79 total attack power, it would be a bad play to try and take on the Golem. even the one in Hoxness that you have a feeling may be guarding an item that you want. But so we'll probably be looking for a little more hurt-moreable friendly enemies here, such as that green dragon, maybe an axe knight, even some of those more mid-game enemies, and get a little more strength, a little more everything else before we try.
And Hurtmore is fantastic and great, but it also kind of fits the theme of just like minor annoying, mildly irritating, where the things that are scaring you are the spike tiles with golems, and then there's the red dragons on the map, and the Hurtmore does nothing to help those.
Yeah, every once in a while you throw out the frustration Hurtmore and it lands on a 1 in 16 chance, but most times it's like what happened to that green dragon. It just misses, even though that was a 1 in 8 miss.
This does make that zone that Scarlet was in even more appealing, though, because these green dragons are now just firmly on the menu, but that's a bummer to not get the kill after a 10 follow-up attack after the Hurtmore.
Yeah, we're still in that, that damage range where if you low roll the Hurtmore, there's not a 100% chance that you're going to cover the spread, as we found out from Scarlet's physical, so you just got to be a little cautious there.
And golems do have less defense than a green dragon, but even still, they hit so hard. And with 59 max HP, it just seems like not what you want. Even if the sword, or that's really the best thing I think they could find right now would be the sword.
No, absolutely correct. So at least Tilo has identified what at least appears on paper to be the best available grind to either runner for this early game. So he's not going to be too terribly far behind Scarlet reaching to this next level here. But Scarlet is able to just one-shot these wyverns, no issue here. He's going to absolutely be beelining down here to Hoxness to find out the wonderful news of Golem round 2.
Yeah, thinking I've got Hurtmore, there's so many things I can kill here, even potentially a blue dragon or a stone man if I get lucky, but not to be.
Is a gold man generally the worst enemy to face? I mean, that's not something at this leg of the race these runners want to see. It gives a total of 6 experience, 650 gold. But it can be helpful when you need that gold and have the ability to kill them, right? So they have their utility usefulness, but right now and for the rest of the season, they absolutely have no desire to see any of them.
Yeah, if you're in a situation where you maybe start with Hurtmore, you learn it at level 2 or 3, and you're really low on HP and defense, finding some gold men and being able to pick up some reasonable armor could be really great. But most of the time, yeah, not that much.
Yeah, I think at least for those of us that's been in the community a while, I think a general consensus is everybody hates the Poltergeist the most. Just generally, it's dodgy, only gives 15 experience for the amount of HP necessary to take it down, so on and so forth. So here we go. We're just shy of level 12 for Scarlet. Meanwhile, Tilo getting his Hurtmore in big numbers here is going to see. Well, we'll see what he. He immediately starts walking at least.
Yep. I wonder if Tilo... he's definitely not going to Hoxness, but maybe just going out into the world and hoping to have a better time getting around.
Meanwhile, there's the fun news for Scarlet. Gets ambushed by the Golem, and then fails to run at 52 agility and is going to go visit the king.
So we've got a pretty beefy Golem experience here on our spike tiles, and so a lot of the times, if you're newer to Dragon Warrior, grinding is very important in this game, getting experience, as Tilo enters the mountain cave. But usually those spike tiles in the swamp cave and in Hoxness are your best way to get consistent experience because they're guaranteed battles, but when you don't have the ability to kill them, you have to start thinking about other ways.
Yeah, buddy. Meanwhile, mountain here, right? We got 5 chances at a chest in here, but Tilo comes in, gets ambushed, Hurtmoored by the Druid Lord, makes a decision to swing. It Hurtmoors him again down to 5 HP, decides I better play it safe and Hurtmoor it, which I think was the wise decision. But we'll see if he can successfully navigate this and find out what we have on the checks here. Number 1 is an herb up top.
And this is level 12 for Scarlet. And looks like we're going to get 3 strength, 10 agility, 13 HP, and I didn't see the MP, I got a little stutter.
Yeah, it was 3 MP and the spell of Radiant. Radiant, not that useful in our summer tournament due to the permanent torch, but we get the Fighter's Ring in the second chest down here in Mountain. He's immediately equipping it. That will give him 2 additional attack power.
Yep, and we've got 3 chests left in Mountain Cave. They could be important. Getting the sword would be huge.
Well, how about the fairy water and a loose key? Neither of those really necessary since we got to start with the keys. That would have been a fantastic key pickup had we not had the ability to keep the key at the start.
Yep, the fairy water could be useful for repelling since we don't have repel, but I'm not really sure that right now that's the top of the mind for them. And there's another key item, Erdrick's token.
Yeah, he got the Erdrick's, but it wasn't the one that he was hoping for. The token necessary to complete the game, but does nothing for us until we're ready to do that. Yeah, and in chat, yeah, he absolutely did equip the Fire's Ring. I did see that, so he is good to go there. And even double-checked that he had equipped his Dragon Scale also.
So key locations that are left for us to find. Garenhem has 3 chests behind a locked door in the back of the town. Cantlin has a old man that may or may not have a coordinate search tile with an item on top of it. What else are we missing? Rimmeldar is another important location that has 1 chest.
Yeah, Stone's Cave or Freebie Cave. Tablet, did you say? I have a terrible memory.
Yeah, so I think that those are the... I did not say those. Those are, I think, the locations that are left as of right now that we don't have any knowledge about. So probably going to find some stuff there. The sword could be in Charlock, but we know that the Stones of Sunlight are guaranteed to be in one of those locations.
Absolutely. And search spots are definitely a higher priority now, I think, with what we got. We obviously have the coal spot out of play at this point with the Death Necklace there, but high likelihood that at least one thing we're looking for or want will be in a search spot of some nature, whether that's below that Golem in Hoxness or if it is on some potential coordinates out of Galen.
Yeah, and we know here in the booth, they don't know because the harp is missing for Tilo and the token is missing for Scarlet, but there's only 2 key items remaining in the game. The flute has been found, the Death Necklace has been found, the armor's been found, harp and token. So, like you said, those search spots potentially very important, and we could find both of what we're looking for on both of those search tiles.
Absolutely. So yeah, for those that may have joined us a little late, just to give a quick recap here of what's at stake. This is the quarterfinals of the 2024 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. This is game 3 in a best of 3. They are up each 1-1 after 2 fantastic races between them. And the winner of this race will move on to the semifinals to take on Angel FM, while the loser will get to join us in chat and mock everybody on the streams at a later date and time.
Definitely. And it's kind of hard to tell who's in the lead just at a glance. The experience total can be a decent rough guide, but there's also other things going on here. So ScarletShadoww is in the lead with experience, but also made it down to the silver harp in the 5th chest of the grave through a dangerous zone. And if he's able to efficiently turn in the harp and get it traded into the staff, I think that is a pretty decent advantage as well.
Yeah, I think between the 2 advantages that they have, because Tilo obviously has the mountain advantage and a slight bit more exploration, at least on the initial continent, which is the continent he needs to stay on. That dive is crucial, especially with Tilo knowing that it's a red dragon zone, as we're going to see Mountain Cave for Scarlet here. So Tilo, as was discussed in chat earlier, or mentioned at least, is most likely going to be waiting until he is red dragon viable to be able to dive that again.
Yeah, and now here Scarlet is evening up the mountain knowledge, and we'll have the knowledge fully that only the stones and the sword are remaining. It can't get bamboozled by the flute or the Death Necklace on either search tile, so might see a change in prioritization in terms of locations. We'll see.
This has been an interesting map as I've been watching it on Tilo's side too. A lot of like very linear pushes. You think it branches off and then it immediately dead ends in the water or mountain hills and such. But we got another cave and a town here for Tilo. We have our staff exchange cave, so that's pretty nice. Tilo can't do anything yet because he does not have the silver harp. But once Scarlet makes it around, he will be able to do his exchange.
Yep, and we can see what this town is. Cantlin seems like a pretty nice place to find. Garenhem would also be great, but it's Rimmeldar, which is your general area to buy keys if you don't find a loose one in a chest somewhere, and has 1 chest with an item in it as well.
Yeah, I think we all know it's going to be a torch because that's what the game's been doing lately. But here we go. Coming in. That was an herb. Close enough.
Early on, maybe you want the torch a little bit more if you're level 1 and have low strength, but, in terms of... ticky-tack items, I think an herb is just fine.
Yeah, that's one less he has to buy later. not going to bother taking a look at the shop here. Is going to go around and top off his keys, though.
Yeah, checked the inventory before opening the door, and I think only had one key remaining. So this makes a lot of sense. You don't want to run out of your keys. It's a bad feeling.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, there we go. Scarlet's still diving here in the mountain cave. Does pick up a Spider's Ring, gets that thing put on, is taken down in 2 shots a damage broken Demon Knight. So is about to complete up his checks here in a moment.
And things continuing to go pretty decent for Scarlet here. We'll see if Scarlet's able to go the same direction and find the trade-in cave here. That would be very helpful. And there's another town up here too, so if Scarlet is able to make it, that would be great. But if not, this potentially could afford Tilo some advantage, especially if one of the chests back in the back of Garenham here has the sword or something.
Yeah, the good news for Tilo is he's getting some decent exploration. He's all the way on the East Coast, as we saw. He's going to be able to pick up 3 more chests in the back here, find one of those missing caves, which we know will have a chest because we've already seen both the exchange caves and we've seen both ends of swamp. So this is it's a single chest in the bottom, but it's either our freebie cave or our tablet cave back here. So 4 total checks coming up in a moment.
Another cursed belt that lets us know that at least one of the other search tiles is populated.
Yeah, so I love that NPC. I hate people, believe me. So yeah, that's actually really, really useful news, at least for us here in the booth, because that lets us know at minimum either Hawks or Cords are in play, and only possibly one other item could be out. But just gold downstairs. Meanwhile, on the left, we just got level 13, and that game was 7-22, another 9 and 3.
And that agility feels great in terms of running away from things, and we are now defense breaking everything Green Dragon and below, so that's fantastic news.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see if Tilo can wrap up this exploration here. The big ticket here would be finding Caitlin, getting coordinates, not finding this red dragon.
Yeah, and that curse belt also gives us knowledge that at the very least, the stones of sunlight are guaranteed to either be on the search tile for the coordinates or underneath the golem in Hawksness. No, I'm wrong. It could be the sword and in a chest.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not a. But we'll find out. It's higher odds of being stones because stones cannot be in Charlock where a sword can. But Tilo with 6 HP left does manage to finally run from that red and does live to push off a little further to see this dead end up here on top.
So Red Dragon giving Tilo at least a little bit of respect here after Scarlet's been able to get away from several of them with low agility. So at least they're spreading it around a little bit now.
Yeah, and interestingly enough here, Tilo runs into that DL2 Breathing Wolf Lord, hits it twice with a physical, and both times put it into heal range, so it has heal as well, as he's going to find that last cave here on his bottom screen, and we got Scarlet into Garenham. So Scarlet about 3-ish minutes behind exploration-wise from Tilo. Tilo is going to get our last free check here in Tablet, and then hopefully find Caitlin soon.
And I believe that this is our last chest check, so if there's not a key item in here, then I think we're in a situation where we know that at least the stones are on one of the search tiles.
Nope, absolutely correct. So we would have guaranteed confirmation of that, but let's see what Erdrick left downstairs today. He left us a free torch. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so not a lot of value there for Tilo, but gets the information. So Caitlin is looking like a pretty important place, as well as being able to kill a golem is looking pretty important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and every one of these checks that doesn't pay off for Tilo also more and more likely makes it seem that Deep Grave was the right play, and just knowing that he didn't get down there, probably thinking about that right now for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And
I wanted to point out, we have another heal more on the wizard after that fight. It's just magical.
These are very magical enemies, indeed. That's the perfect word to describe them.
Man, obnoxious, I think, would be a better term if you're one of these runners. It gets tiring when you're like, all right, somebody new finally, let me try him. And then it's like, good grief, does everything heal?
And remembering back to the beginning, we are close to the bottom of the world. I don't know if they got a side, reverse count, but potentially if this is, I can't think of a word. If it's a good coordinate for a reverse count, someone could go for it, but we'll have to see. They might just go for a regular count or the princess.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, even a single chord might be the play dependent. Obviously, it could be just 6 north, 5 south, or 5 east, or something silly like that. I think Tilo's re-walking the exact area he's already been a couple times here. Let's see what he decides to do.
And this is tablet for Scarlet, so I'm not 100%, but this might be full knowledge after Scarlet finds this torch to know that those search tiles are of the utmost importance. We'll see if he's going to continue to look around the map for Caitlin, or, maybe find a dead end and think about heading back for that golem.
Yeah, the only thing I can't confidently remember is if he saw Rimmeldar's chest or not, but otherwise he definitely has all other knowledge.
Oh yeah, he might still be having that chest outstanding.
Tilo playing with low HP here. That Stone Man did not want to let him go. Does get away while he was at 16 to continue this exploration. Tilo definitely, for his sake, he needs to get everything wrapped up on one go here, because he will have to come back to this side of the map a second time once he does get the harp out of the basement of Garenham of Grave, because this is where the exchange is, right there.
Yeah, Tilo's really going to have to hope for something to muddle up Scarlet right now, because Scarlet's kind of cruising in terms of getting things done.
And I think Tilo's heading towards our last open area here, going south-southeast from where the staff cave and such. And there we go. I see a town. But will it be Cantlin? Will it be Cantlin? Or will it be Breckenary?
Breckenary, everybody's favorite town with a dirt cheap inn.
See, I'm kind of torn. It's near swamp, so it's leaning Breck in my eyes. But it's near the coast, So it's near the coast, but it's near a lot of swamp.
And this Star Wyvern is looking like Muhammad Ali out there.
Yeah, that was an interesting battle, to say the least. Dodging, weaving, but does survive here. Is going to double heal and should, barring catastrophe, make it to this town.
50% chance, and of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if it was just a nice coastal town, Cantlin, 100%. But, the people of Cantlin are not going to build near that swamp. That's just too low class. And that's why Breckenary fits the bill for this location 100%.
Yeah, you get a cheap in-stay, but in that marshland, maybe there's a little bit of dampness in your carpeting there.
We do get another purchase. This will probably be the final purchase for Tilo for sure. It does pick up a broadsword here for another 5 attack power advantage. Does find a dead end down here. I would have to say Cantlin, actually, in all seriousness, does have to be somewhere along this path. I think they have seen everything else that I can recall, at least. Another Hurtmore miss here, man. These Star Wyverns are not playing nicely.
No, they're being they're following the theme of the seed, which is just, minor irritation, minor to moderate irritation.
He missed 2 Hurtmores in a row. That was absolutely amazing. Does land the Hurtmore. Of course, it didn't go down. Finishes off with a physical. And does take it down, but at what cost? That's 16 MP he has now used 21. Now it's 24. 24 MP Star Wyvern battle. You hate to see it.
And notably, at level 13, we still don't have access to the Heal More spell. And if Scarlet makes it to level 14 and we still don't have Heal More, that extra 5 attack power from the broadsword might be somewhat relevant in fighting the old golem.
Yeah, it sure could. And 84 agility, we actually have a decent chance to run from this red dragon, which is why we failed twice. But Scarlet is down in this area that we know he needs to be, at least to find the great news of Breckenary, and most likely for Cantlin does escape after the 3rd or 4th attempt. Luckily, that red dragon decided to be a breathy boy.
Yeah, the weak breath really putting in work there. If those were all physicals, very likely to fall there. Well,
let's see what happens here. Scarlet looking decently likely to hit level 14 by about the time he'll be wrapping up the exploration down here, because Tilo has just been walking through miles and miles of land since Breckenary, even with just absolutely nothing. We know there's only one location left, and it's almost assuredly going to be required. Here's Breckenary for Scarlet.
Yeah, Cantlin could be very important. If Tilo is able to find Cantlin and it leads to, the sword, for example, and that means that the stones were potentially underneath the golem, and, maybe Scarlet runs into a red dragon somewhere and has to come all the way back over here, that's something that could really benefit Tilo. That's the kind of thing he's going to have to hope for to catch up a little bit in this race.
Yeah, I'm struggling to think of where else Cantlin could be if it doesn't ultimately end up being down here, because they went west, found dead end there. They went north at dead ends just north of Charlock, where they went through the swamp. And from Scarlet's side, at least, we saw that it was a dead end completely. But there it is, just off screen as he went all the way around it. Is Cantlin being protected by some armor knights?
And surprisingly, based on your your previous assessment, they have built their expensive city near that swampland.
Yeah, I mean, at certain points you don't have much options. Here's level 13 for Tilo, though. Gonna get some moderate information there. Takes a quick cursory look at his stats. We're getting in the ballpark here for everything. We're in that probably 2 to 3 levels, unless the game is rude, kind of range away from go.
Yep, and Scarlet filling up on fairy water to repel enemies, not get the weak encounters. So might get repel at level 14, but just kind of mitigating the chance there, and wants to be able to not get these encounters, and gets right to Cantlin immediately.
Yeah, that's the difference. Tilo kind of hugged along the coastline and just missed it off screen. So Scarlet's going to wrap up his exploration fairly quick. At one point, he was about 3 minutes behind Tilo, and we have 3 north, 18 west. I think we're going to be able to pull that off.
Yeah, and I think that this is honestly not great news for Tilo. Kind of needs something to happen to gunk up the gears, I think, to stop Scarlet's progress, but it doesn't look like that's happening.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be interesting. Let's see what's on this coordinates first. If it's sword, that's even bigger news, honestly, for Scarlet, because he's already got the flute in hand. He can just go over, put that guy to sleep, and call it a day. But here we go. We're going to find out. It is the stone. So our sword location's still in the air. Not a guarantee that anything is in Hoxness.
Yeah, absolutely. The sword, at this point, with these flags that we're using for the summer tournament, is the only item that could potentially show up in a chest in Charlock, and has every possibility of being there.
And the one thing to note was when Scarlet got to Breckenary, he did not bother checking the shop. He is happy enough with his hand axe, I guess. So he's got a 5 attack power disadvantage from a weapons perspective, but is making a beeline immediately down here. He wants to know, is his sword here?
Yep, and this will also affect, I think, a grind decision, because if this ends up being nothing, what are you going to do for a grind, DK?
Panic a little initially and hope that I paid attention to my zones and, find out where Green Dragons, maybe there were some Axe Knights or Armor Knights you want to go find, but yeah, until Healmore, it's not viable to go deal with that red dragon whatsoever. So yeah, it's gonna be a little sketchy. We'll see what happens.
And this could be one of those circumstances where an early, just sword-focused dive into Charlock might be a play that yields good dividends. We'll have to see.
And that's what Tilo was just trying to hope to bank on. He went to Swamp to check out the spike tile, finds out about the golem there, and immediately has returned. So now he knows. But the sword was in Hoxness. Sometimes it just works out for you. So Scarlet is in full grind and go, minus picking up the rainbow, which is just due west of here. We're going to see a lot of golem deaths in level 14 here in a moment.
And if level 14 comes with heal more, the XP is going to rapidly accelerate. As of right now, relying on the hated 8-second fairy flute expenditure is not what you want, but it's what you got to do. Tilo heading down to the bottom of Grave again. Gonna hope to not run into a bunch of red dragons. Has the 84 agility, which gives you, a fighting chance to get away, but really gonna have to hope for a clean dive down to get that harp.
Well, here we go. We're going to get all the spells. Here, Hurt, Stop, Repel, and Heal More all coming at level 14. Not quite go. We still only have 88 HP. Our strength's still a little low. We are up to 13 Heal Mores, though.
Yeah, this is really bad news for Tilo. Now that Scarlet can just sit here and grind the golems without having to flute, 15 or 16 looking very likely to be enough to go on. The door is already pretty closed, but it's getting even more closed.
Yep, here's chest 4. We're gonna get that flute over on Tilo's side. But yeah, this is a rough situation, and really highlights just sometimes it doesn't. You don't have to just be good. Sometimes you just got to get a little lucky, and I think the luckiest play by far was Scarlet being able to run from that red dragon. 38 agility, I believe, is what he was at when he made that run when he was in Swamp or in Grave, and it's just snowballed from there.
Yeah, maybe 15 or so steps away from the chest and able to run away. That I think is your turning point for sure.
So yes, so Tilo, I think from his perspective, he's been playing this exactly right as far as what he's been trying. He went until he found that grind. Unfortunate for him, Scarlet figured it out much sooner because of encounter luck. He went ahead and stayed out of Grave, rightfully so initially because he got Green Dragon, where Scarlet got the armor. He went back and got it at a level that I thought was appropriate as we find the Red Dragon here, but he does run away. Just everything, everything that he needed to kind of flip around, even just finding Cantlin where Scarlet walked straight to it versus hugging the coast. Just all what Scarlet's side. It's been rather crazy to say the least.
Yep, and that's the thing that, infuriates us and also keeps us coming back is that this game is very RNG heavy, and you can play as well as you can, make great decisions, and still come up short. That's just kind of how this game goes.
Yeah, buddy, but here we go. Tilo's got all the information. Does still have to walk back to the east side of the map to pick up his staff. We'll see if he opts to do that first, or if he does want to head down and check out this golem. Meanwhile, at 350 a pop, we have 2 golems left for Scarlet to reach level 15. We'll see if that brings us enough to decide that this is go, or if we're continuing the grind.
And I'm trying to think right now of any Charlock level enemies that have anything kind of scary, like a sleep or a Dragonlord breath, and I'm kind of running up empty, and knowing that we have 92 defense as well, Green Dragon and below could be mitigated, so it might not be the worst Charlock experience, but it still could be.
Yeah, you never know. You never know, and as we all know, agility can just be a number as far as run luck goes, at least. The defense is always there, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. I mean, we could still see Tilo be able to get back in it either by running Charlock at a marginal level, or vice versa. If Scarlet goes on a marginal level and Tilo ultimately gets lucky on one. A few things are in play, but at this point we are heavily leaning towards Tilo being roughly a dive behind, I would say.
Yeah, and another thing that could happen is the HP is one of our lowest stats right now, and if it doesn't get too much above 97 by the time that we go, even having great defense and agility, your garden variety armored knights and red dragons can send you home quite easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Tilo just running into another red dragon there does narrowly escape. It does look like he wants to make the Hawksness play first. I can understand that. And to be fair, if he gets the sword here, he'll be able to possibly take on a couple other things on the Overworld as he moves around. He really needs that level to get that 14 and that heal more especially.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if once Tilo knows that the sword is under there, if he decides to try to take on some more golems or is going to go get the staff traded in first.
Well, I think level 15 was pretty obvious. 0144. Game said continue.
Yeah, 92 HP, not feeling very safe. You want to have at least 97 HP when you fight the Dragonlord, because with Erdrick's armor, the highest you can take from a Dragonlord breath is 48, and if you're at 97 and you take 48 damage, you'll have 49 HP remaining.
Precisely. So yeah, he's 5 HP away from there. Additionally, we are still a little weakish at this point. 120 would be a 5 to 10 damage range on the Dragon Lord 2 variant. So we're going to need a little more of something in order to overcome both of those items.
The defense is good, though, so you're not really too scared about the physical damage that's coming from the dragon. I mean, you're always scared, but it's not going to put you in a dangerous situation. If you've got 49 HP, you're always going to be safe with this level of defense.
And I want to, you know, one of my favorite things about doing commentary on a race like this is we have a double golem grind here, right? I have no audio, so I'm not listening to a single note of this flute, and it's magical.
Yeah, it really is one of the perks of commentating is that, you know, if it is a golem-heavy flute experience, we are blissfully unaware of all those flute toots.
But here we go. Scarlet has opted to go ahead and pick up in the swamp, which absolutely makes sense. It's closer. You can just do your death warps to get your MP back, and then you just head right back up, and it's right there. So makes absolute sense. And so we're going to see some golems die in the light. We're going to see some golems die in the dark, and the level's going to at least level 16 here.
Yep, and I really like the play here from Tilo to continue to get the next level. He's going to be thrilled to get Heal More and the rest of the spells as well, but notably that Heal More spell.
Yeah, Heal More will be crucial, as chat was kind of mentioning, and absolutely makes sense. You know, how many red dragons has he had to run from now? Even when he was diving grave, having Heal More in hand plus that Erdrick sword, 100% would be taking those on. Plus the repel, he'll only be taking on things that he really cares about, or else he'll just be able to walk everywhere very freely.
Yeah, at 92 and 93 defense, respectively, you'll see Axe Knights, you'll see Armored Knights, you'll see Stone Men, you'll see Blue Dragons, you'll see Red Dragons, and Golems, I think. I don't think you'll see anything else.
Absolutely. Armor Knights, yeah. There we go. But yeah, Tilo completes a cycle here, and he is off somewhere.
Yeah, maybe going to get the harp traded in now. Get that homework done, and then continue the grind. We'll be able to get these red dragons on the way, though. That's going to help.
Absolutely, and just critting also kind of useful. So he doesn't even have to use a heal mortar here if he doesn't feel like it. Boom, one red dragon down.
I do like the heal after the battle. It's tempting to want to just try to heal walk the HP back, but if you get into another red dragon battle immediately after, it's just pretty inefficient. So you want to be able to take at least a swing before you start your heal mooring.
Absolutely, and to be honest, the red dragon's a decently efficient fight right now. 120 attack, we're doing 3 or 4 swings on average. You might have to heal more in battle. He's on his second red dragon right now, right? So he's picking up some decent experience as he's moving around to try and get this stuff done. Unfortunate, just a skosh, 25 to 3k behind, depending on enemy encounter rate, and that gap's just going to continue here while we're just seeing golems die and he's walking.
Yeah, it is great that Tilo's getting these high-value enemies on the way, but not having access to a fight as easily as Scarlet is going to still be impactful. Those spike tiles are just so darn efficient.
Absolutely, and we're 2 golems away for Scarlet from level 16. We'll see if it gives us enough HP, maybe a little bump in strength. Who knows? We'll see we'll see ultimately what this game wants us to have as our go level.
Yep, a number of things could do it. More MP, you could have low attack power, and just you need that 5 HP, I think, for sure. You could maybe go with 4, but you really want to have at least 97, I think, in this circumstance.
So we'll see what order Tilo decides to go in here. Most likely going to go ahead and walk back around so he can pick up his rainbow after he tops off here in cold. And then since he's already over there, most likely heads due east to go back into Hoxha since he's nearby. But I would assume that he would also pivot to this spike tile.
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of having checked the spike tile there. It can be, tempting to never check the spike tile. You just outside every time you get into the swamp cave if you enter from the south. But it's really worth it to get the knowledge. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely, and I think we're 1 swing on this golem away. He's going to definitely heal more just to make sure he's safe. But I think we're 1 swing away, and we'll have level 16 coming in, and there we go. Oh, what we got? 16, 9 attack power. It's 2, 4, 3. Very, very intriguing right now.
Yeah, this is the kind of that marginal case that you were talking about, where you definitely could go, but that 96 is it's tight, and it really puts the possibility for bad things happening on the menu.
Yeah, he's I mean, between 129 and 13 heal mores, definitely a little tight, and then the 96 is the straw that breaks the camel's back. So yeah, I would agree with chat there too. Go ahead and especially if you can, it's hard to do so as a runner, but if you can, as Scarlet should be able to determine that you've had almost everything go right for you in this, take that level.
Yeah, you would hate to have felt like you've done a great job all seed and then take a risk that ends up, taking victory away, giving you defeat from the grasp of victory.
Yeah, this is one of those that, I'll be honest, oh my goodness, he is throwing down a rainbow. Well, as I was saying before, you go on a marginal level, you may open it up for your opponent. Does Tilo see this as a needed dive? Does it work for him versus Scarlet, right? Or does Tilo say, I'm going to get another level and then whatever happens. But this will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. And like Jake Hoper's saying in chat, it's very hard. Even if you feel like you've done things very well, it's hard to assume that you're in the lead. Your opponent could have done everything the same as you and maybe even slightly better. So.
No, that's every single race that I'm in or anytime I'm playing. Everybody else has done better some way, somehow, even when it's completely dumb-lucked in my favor. But yeah, here we go. So far, we have a red dragon in Zone 1. We're obviously repelling a ton of enemies right now. He is using the fairy waters to keep up the repels. He does have a few bonus MP here if he did want to go that route, but on the Zone 2 and a goal.
Yep, and at 129, those fairy waters could help mitigate a little bit of low rolling, but having 96 HP and being able to avoid enemies is also very valuable. So it's kind of a toss-up in terms of whether you want to save them or not. But you did say that there is a little bit of wiggle room in terms of repel MP.
So this is intriguing. So our dive actually going to go a little bit faster, and not something I was truly thinking about because of the ability to repel up through Axe Knights. So. Yeah, we're repelling, half a Charlock, and it's showing here. I think we've had 4, maybe 5 encounters so far, and into Zone 3.
Yeah, and this, it was a one dive lead. It might be more than a one dive lead. It just depends on whether if this ends up failing for Scarlet, the choice would be: do you just go right again and try again, or do you go for a level?
I mean, that's a very valid question, and we'll have to see where his mindset is. This bottom zone not free, as we have already seen a second red dragon. Our agility at 88, decent odds to be able to get away. That baby breath also helping out a little bit, as we saw in the previous one. But man, 3 red dragons in the U4, kind of suspect.
Yikes! Maybe overrepresented in the zone could be. And my question is, do you think that there's any possibility of success if we have to use a heal more, which it looks like we're going to here?
I'm not feeling very confident about the potential for success here, and I think neither is Scarlet at this point. This seems to show me that he is just going to go ahead, bow out, and work on another level.
Yeah, getting the knowledge of all these red dragons in the zones may lead to another level here for Scarlet. Yeah,
at this point, if I'm Scarlet, I think you just immediately outside, walk right back to that Golem. But no, he's going to press forward. He definitely is not in a winnable scenario at this point, in my opinion. Maybe he's wanting to just see what the spike tile is down here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just see if you can get the level while you're down here, do a quick outside, and then go back in again. But yeah, this is an unfortunate turn of events here for Scarlet for sure.
Yeah, I get the intrigue for wanting to check the spike tile here, but and you might get some okay red dragon encounters, but you might also get this silly stone man encounter that you absolutely don't want. That's just eating up time. And if you have a perfectly viable golem outside, I get what he's going for, but I feel like this is also kind of a time killer.
Yeah, knowing that the swamp cave is kind of steps away from here, wouldn't be too much of a time sink just to cast outside and head right over there.
So while this has all been going on, and this is exactly why I'm talking about Time Killer, Tilo is exactly 3 golems behind on experience. And if Tilo opts to just continue to grind 217 versus all of this, Scarlet will have the knowledge of the dive, but Tilo will have the advantage of just continuing to grind.
Yeah, and this is the kind of situation that was exactly what Tilo needed to catch up. So this race has become much tighter, kind of spicy.
Well, this Axe Knight, we got plenty of MP left here, so he'll be able to grind on this for a couple minutes and work towards level 17, while Tilo will be fighting through these golems still. Tilo's going to get level 16 here. I mean, it's decision time for him on 16 as well. Does he feel pressured to go on this potential borderline level because he knows how unlucky he's had it getting around?
Yeah, it's really hard to get into the mind of the racer because we're all so different, but he looks like no consideration there, just going straight for it.
Yeah, we'll see, because he has been fluting this entire time. He did not flute on this one. He just walked right back into it. And I think no flute is the correct play, not just because I hate it, but because of time sync. So let's see. But he is Healmorn, so yeah, he went right back into it. So he's going to be, approximately 2-ish minutes behind getting in the Charlock, if I had to take a gamble.
And I'll be interested to see what the stats look like on level 17, because if it's like a 0-0-1-0 kind of situation, we'll have to see.
And Beta, again, slightly faster than me. Exactly what I was just thinking through as well. He doesn't necessarily... We're at 13 Healmors. I know you're 1 away from a 14th Healmor, but you don't necessarily have to get the entire level. And Tilo has, on multiple occasions, wrapped up a level doing a diving grind. So absolutely a viable option, especially with so many enemies being damage broken.
Yeah, having 94 defense makes an enormous difference in the decision to try to swing on things on the way down in Charlock. There's just so many options, like you were saying, to take pretty inexpensive in terms of HP fights.
Yeah, this has been interesting to watch. Obviously, the Golem taking slightly longer per battle versus Dax Knights, especially when you get one that wants to go down in a single hurt more. So, but no gain or loss really on the experience grind here. So we got exactly 2 more Axe Knights to go for the level 17 on the left here. Meanwhile, we got 3 more Golems for Tilo, or 2 Golems and Go Dive.
Waiting for these level 17 stats very eagerly.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane and gotten so much tighter as a result. But here we go. 17 coming with 5 more power, 1 agility, 5 HP, 8 MP. That's another heal more. That's plenty of everything. We're going to see a top off and another attempt here from Scarlet.
Yeah, that level makes a huge difference in your survivability. That is very important.
Yeah, and the extra heal more, even with now 89 agility, not inconsequential, knowing there's reds in zones 1 and 3 that could, play hardball with you. Luckily, they just bite, but still, you don't have a ton of HP, and every bite matters as a result of that.
And it looks like Tilo wasn't able to get that last golem down, so it's going to be 1 short of the level and going to have to get it on the way. It looks like Scarlet is going to head to the shop and fill up on herbs here before going down.
Oh my god, this shop visit alone is the entire difference. Tilo's going to get up to the zone and get this level on the way. He might ultimately go stop off in the inn, but he needs a Dagon encounter. He doesn't have repel on right now. He wants this level before he goes in, and nothing is showing up.
That's just tragic. Just the RNG not favoring Tilo continues.
That was absolutely brutal. Like, just boom, get 1 enemy on the way here, hit that wyvern, and that's the level. Instead, he needs 1 more thing. The gold man doesn't do it, kill it anyway. There you go. I was like, kill it, that's 6 in case you get another one. But wow, this is absolutely amazing. This is going to be super tight and come down to encounters in Charlock at this point.
Yeah, maybe going to be like a floor and a half, 2 floor lead here for Scarlet. Well within variance.
Oh man, so here we go. Tilo going to get the go top off and go note. Scarlet getting beat up by a red dragon already on the initial floor here. Down 1 herb so far. takes a look at his stats and then continues. Does get away from that one, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, it looks like a top zone, Stone Man, Red Dragon. That looks very similar to what I remember of the bottom zone as well. So, Charlock not looking free.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll wait for that surprise Armor Knight that didn't make an appearance on the first dive to come around somewhere.
Yeah, maybe got like was sleeping in and got that angry phone call from the Dragon Lord, and might be showing up to work now.
So there's the bridge for Tilo. He is going to be one zone behind 2 floors total. We're still well within RNG for encounters at this point. We've seen 3 red dragons on Scarlet's side. There's 1 for Tilo, but it's all about not just getting them, but how fast you get away.
Yeah, and the run luck in those encounters too is going to be very consequential, because if you get kind of skunked on being able to run away and you have to use your resources, that puts the fight into potentially not guaranteed range. Although that extra attack power really helps give you a little bit more freedom there.
Absolutely, yeah. The extra attack was very crucial here. Scarlet, Zone 2 seems to be very free again, so I'm assuming we don't have anything hiding in Zone 2. We obviously saw what already happened in Zone 3 to him on the previous dive. So we'll see what happens here. Tilo was successfully able to get away from a red dragon, but seeming pretty even in encounters so far. That's a 3rd red dragon for Tilo.
And I really don't think that there's really any abilities on any of these enemies, so it's just going to come down to the old swings and agility numbers really coming into play here.
Yep, as Tilo's going to keep that repel up, knows he needs to try and make up some ground here, and not getting encounters is a big piece of that. Of course, the Stone Man has DL2, it had to have DL2. I saw a 48 there, but he is not running from the Stone Man. Does opt to use a sleep.
Yeah, and with the I think they have 7 extra MP on top of their heal more total, so it makes a lot of sense staying safe there by using your resources.
Yeah, that guy was not friendly at all. So here we go. He is throwing the repel back up and trying to walk off some of this HP and make it over here to the Axe Knight that we know is free, but the Red Dragon shows up.
This is a nerve-wracking situation. Scarlet does still have that lead, but like we've been saying, it's not a platinum. Here, it's still a fallible lead.
Absolutely, and I mean that's 3 red dragons in like 7 steps for him here. 2 run fails so far on this one before getting away. There goes another herb. I mean Tilo's about to see the bottom floor. He's right here. This is absolutely insane.
This is going to be real close no matter what happens in this situation. Scarlet's looking great, can make it through this last walk to the Dragon Lord, but we all know that these steps in between the Spike and the Dragon Lord can be fraught.
Absolutely. So here we go. Scarlet does make it to the Dragon Lord. He is in a very good position still here. Still has 14 heal mores in the tank and has been called a fool. And there's the Dragon Lord. Meanwhile, Tilo making up a absolutely ton of a time there, walking through the Charlock, is getting ready to get out of his spike tile and into this fight as well, and it's going to be the Dragon Lord 1 battle behind.
This has tightened up an unbelievable amount here, and I've got some stuttering going on, so I won't be able to get these counts in, but hopefully you out there are going to be able to keep track of this.
Yeah, I'd say, there's always a chance for stream lag and such to come into play, so we'll definitely keep an eye on the race room here. But looks like Scarlet's gonna have about a 3 or 4 swing advantage on the Dragon Lord 2 battle, as Tilo uses a heal more in the Dragon Lord 1 phase here. Still in a very good position, but definitely not as friendly of a Dragon Lord 1 as Scarlet had.
And, you could potentially get a bad heal more here, but with 101 HP and the 94 defense, you're feeling like you're pretty safe to have a nice fight.
Yeah, precisely. At this point, especially for Scarlet, he would have to roll severely below average coming in with all 14 heal mores in order for this to not be successful. So Tilo's here, he's doing the thing, but he is about, like I said, 3 or 4 swings behind. In a race that absolutely wasn't close until all of a sudden it became close.
Yeah, and depending on stream desync, this could be like a minute or two difference here between our racers.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. It's exactly what you want to see in a race, especially a Game 3 race, dueling DL2 battles at the exact same time here with both runners in a very good position to be able to be victorious in their particular battles.
Yeah, it doesn't often happen that finishing within even under 3 minutes from your opponent feels like you were very close. Even finishing within a dive of around 7 minutes feels like you had a chance, but this is going to be remarkably closer than that.
Well, there we go. 3 heal more to spare. Get some GGs out in chat for ScarletShadoww. Appears that he will be today's race winner. We'll get an official time from race time in a moment.
Big GG's. Both racers been playing great all tournament. Scarlet continuing in the tournament has been having just a fantastic run and will be facing up, like you said, against Angel FM, and that will be quite a matchup.
Absolutely. Official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 1 second for Scarlet. Very nicely done.
Yeah, hard to argue with the choices that Scarlet made there, except the only thing that you might be able to quibble on is the choice to push and go at 16, but you don't know where you're at as the runner, and so you play to win the game, and that's what Scarlet tried to do.
Absolutely. So there we go. Get some GGs out in chat for Thilotilo coming in just behind here. We'll get his official time. 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 37 seconds. A 36-second difference.
That is absolutely wild. After the separation that we had seen, and the the early harp for Scarlet and not for Tilo, just kind of crazy for it to be that close.
Absolutely, this is absolutely amazing. And this highlights so many things. Why it's little decisions can be so impactful. I mean, at one point we were literally a 3,000 XP lead for ScarletShadoww, and it just got sucked up that fast over. A thought of maybe diving Charlock and not being able to grab XP that entire time while Tilo continued on the grind. Well, who do we got here? We got our race winner, ScarletShadoww, joining us. GG, Scarlet. How you feeling about that one?
Feeling good, but wow, that was close.
Absolutely.
I honestly can't.
Go ahead, please.
It must have been a really close race, especially with that first Charlock dive where I decided that I didn't have enough resources and failed. I'm sure. I don't know. How many dives did Tilo end up doing? I have to ask.
One dive.
All right, then.
So that's the intriguing part about this one, is you had a commanding lead throughout the majority of this. Just a few things went your way. Armor on the first try, Tilo wasn't successful. Yeah. The dive in the basement of Grave all the way down, Tilo wasn't successful. Many things did not go Tilo's way. What went his way was when you did that dive, you had about a 3,000 experience point lead, and Tilo just continued grinding golems. And when he got into Charlock, you were just hitting zone 2 on the second dive.
Did he end up winning on the same level as me, or did he go at 96 HP?
No, he went to 17, so you both were 17.
Okay. I felt like 96, it was completely winnable, and with the defense we had, I know diving at low HP on Charlock sucks, but I felt like with Tilo's skill, I had to make the attempt there. I felt like if I didn't end up losing the heal more, I probably still could have won.
I mean, it was a possibility for sure, and that was a debate that was happening here in chat for sure. But yeah, like chat's even calling out that Wyvern grind right outside of Cole was giant for you. You saw that Tilo just never got that encounter, kept seeing just like the wolf that kept heal mooring and kept leaving that zone. He did ultimately find that zone, but was that was the one of several things that just kept pushing him back and back. But it was amazing to watch the comeback and the persistence. About the only thing that did go well for him was he did get most of the exploration done ahead of you, but then you found Cantlin a little quicker than him because he kind of walked south around Cantlin initially, and you walked right to it, and then it was game on from there. It was a great race to watch.
I figured Tilo was ahead of me in exploration. I figured I was ahead in XP after that grind. I found that zone outside of ScarletShadoww, and I decided I was not leaving until I had hurt more or heal more or enough HP to possibly fight a golem. And after that, it just felt really good. But man, whew, the end had me scared. My leg was twitching the entire second ScarletShadoww dive for sure.
I'm sure it did. And we're now joined by today's runner-up, Thilotilo. GG's. How are you feeling about this one?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I had a lot of fun with that one. As soon as I got armor out of grave, I was like, I'm in trouble. And then the second time I dove grave, I was like, I'm in real trouble. So Urson kind of gave me the lowdown of what happened and that I had no business even being close. But that exploration or the grave misfortune both times I went in was very, very, very harmful in the scheme of things. But honestly, I have not been playing my best this whole season. I feel like the best 2 races I've run were the last 2 I did against Scarlet all season, and so honestly, I had no business getting this far. I just had a lucky path by having an absolute scrub last round, and so anyway, I'm happy to have been this far. I've had an absolute blast, and GG Scarlet, good luck in the next round. I have high hopes for you, and expect you to do good things by taking down the forces of evil that are Angel.
Thank you, Tilo. I appreciate it. This has been a heck of a match. I've had a lot of fun with it, and even just the banter has been fun and entertaining, and I'm glad we were able to put on a really good third race to give everybody a show before we move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just kind of mention that in the last round, the 2020 champion went down. In the next round, the 2021 champion went down. Now, if you can go the whole way, you'll knock out the 2022 champion in the next round, and potentially the 2023 in the following round. So you gotta, and so we can get the whole gauntlet going.
That would definitely be nice, but I've got a humongous, tower-sized gauntlet in front of me for the next round. I don't think I'll worry about what happens after until I get past that.
Well, I am definitely pulling for you on that. And I'll just also say, I just want to thank, since this is my last time in the booth, I want to thank everybody this season. I want to thank the admins for putting this on. I've been in the admin booth before. It's a massive undertaking, and it's much appreciated. And also the 20 or so people that have done the Red Slime Zone throughout the season to make sure everybody got to watch their races and got commentary on it and all that stuff. I have an absolute blast getting to hang with everybody and chat there all the time. And it's a massive community undertaking to make sure everybody gets the opportunity to get seen, to get to watch their races back and get commentary and just have fun with everyone. And I'm so grateful to everybody who made it happen.
Tilo, I had a question for you real quick if you were amenable. When you were doing the grind, you're on level 15, you get to level 16. You went straight back for the golem. Did you have any thought of level 16 being enough, or, what was your thought process around choosing to just go straight to level 17?
So my thought process is I knew 16 was doable, but with 96 HP, I don't generally like having to go right up against the edge. But the other thing is, if you have a golem grind, you just get the extra level, always. Because it's like 2 minutes for what's almost guaranteed to be a safe dive following. And you can lose those 2 minutes easily, and you were on the edge. If you lost a heal more, you were in trouble. And so if I'm on a golem grind and I've got 96 HP, unless I have a ton of strength, I'm probably going to 17.
And if you watch it back, you'll see that's exactly what happened. I lost a heal more and abandoned the dive, and that's what allowed you to catch up and make it a race at the end. Honestly, it's your skill as a player that made me dive on that level, because I knew it was a possibility, and I knew the golem grind was probably smarter, but I thought I was behind, even with a lot of things that went well, so I decided I had to go.
Well, it was amazing to watch for sure for both of you, and it was exactly, I think, what chat and us here in the booth wanted, was a questionable level to come up to just put that into the minds and see what you guys decided to do with it and kind of go from there. And it led to a absolutely fantastic finish. So GG's to you both. And as the name Scrub Tilo, I truly do appreciate your banter as well.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun with this whole group. It's amazing. This whole community is just the best. I'll go back just say one thing about the going at a borderline level. I knew I was playing from behind. As you know, first time I got Grave and the second time I did Grave, I knew I was playing from behind. And when I'm playing from behind, I tend to do the opposite of what most people do and don't charge forward, because I go, my best chance is Charlock being problematic. And if that's the case, I want to give myself a better chance, and it's exactly what happened here. Scarlet, I have no chance of winning if Scarlet wins in his dive. But by taking the safe dive, I gave myself a chance.
Yeah, very fair point. Absolutely fair point there. So again, GG's a fantastic tournament again. And we'll see what happens the next time.
Yeah, thanks everybody for putting on the show, and again, thanks everybody in the Holtz community. You're all amazing. And GG Scarlet, good luck in the next round.
Thank you, Tilo. I echo the thank yous for everybody. I couldn't say it anywhere near as well as Tilo did, so I'll just say thanks.
Well, thank you guys as well. Any final thoughts, Hoodie, before we kind of wrap things up here today?
No, I'm just to echo, it's just really fun to be a part of all of these things. I'm glad for everyone hanging out, watching with us, and I'm still looking very forward to all that is to come.
Absolutely. We got one more quarterfinal race that should be wrapping up on Monday evening, and then on to the semis next week. Looks like right now, though, we're going to send it over to Retro Gaming Live TV. They're doing some classic game ruffles, including right now they were doing Toe Jam and Earl. I know one commentator that kind of likes that game here that's sitting with me. But for our restreamer High Spirits, for our tracker Beta Kappa Omega Strep, for my restream or broadcast partner Hoodie Two Shoes, I'm DK9146. Everybody have a wonderful Saturday afternoon.